Yeah, it was a disappointing outcome for Sanders supporters in California, certainly. But Clinton's win has to come with an asterisk. Let's look at the 2008 turnout in California. It's about 4.7 million votes. 2.6 million for Clinton and 2.2 for Obama. And with 94% reporting, Clinton only got 1.8 million in 2016 and 1.4 for Sanders. That went up a little bit, but turnout is still down over a million. I mean, she got less votes this year than she did in 2008. And turnout is down by over a million votes. What are the media reports of voter registration amongst young Latinos? I don't know. I've seen reports of deregistration both recently and a while back. But whether this is a weak measure of enthusiasm all around, she also got less votes in New Jersey, where yet another reflection of voter suppression is not a strong walk into the convention. Either people didn't show up, or, they had to stop people from voting. One way or another, it's just not a strong narrative. There's been a sub-story the whole time about Sanders bringing kids into the Democratic Party and this idea that it's going to be good for Clinton in the long run. But they're just nowhere close to each other on policy. Okay? One way or another, the lack of voter enthusiasm that we just saw in California, which is used to not mattering, it's not unique to the cycle. It should be a dose of reality. Bernie's not going to deliver for Hillary. He's not going to increase turnout for her. He didn't increase turnout for him, but not for her. And Google throws Greg Palast at me right off the bat. First result explains that it's a lot harder to vote in California than people were letting on. California should not have been modeled as an open primary, unfortunately. In fact, not only should it have been modeled as a closed primary, but particularly difficult one. California should have been modeled like New York. I'll admit error on the bad modeling, but not. It doesn't change anything I said. I've got a great idea for how Clinton can celebrate her gender identity. Why didn't she go around to elementary schools around the country and get all little girls to write their names on the bombs she plans to drop all over the world? Maybe if we're lucky, she can be the first woman executed for war crimes too. Actually, that glass ceiling's already been broken. There were women executed at the Nuremberg trials, but it's true. It's great to have a strong female war criminal in office for little girls to look up to. Maybe they can be war criminals when they grow up too. Of course, more sane people may suggest that Hillary Clinton is actually a terrible role model for girls, and that she's hindering this cause more than she's helping it. I saw a write-up in Democracy Now! That said, Clinton has managed to convince people that she's a strong voice for women's rights, as though it was like some kind of joke, right? But that's America, right? Nobody cares about sanity in America. Alright, okay. So, it was bad turnout, just abysmal turnout, and who knows why. So let's take a moment to vent, resolve to vote for Jill Stein, and then move on. Forget about it, it's done. Alright. I was Republican because I thought that those were the people who best supported markets. I think that is not true anymore. Elizabeth Warren explaining her decision to switch parties in her 40s, the 1990s. Many people rightfully criticize Clinton for being a Republican when she was a kid. But Warren gets a pass, it's just inconsistent. I was a Republican at a time when I felt like there was a problem that the markets were under a lot more strain. It worried me whether or not the government played too activist a role. Progressive champion or market fundamentalist. if you want to define the term progressive with Teddy Roosevelt, maybe it works. Otherwise, it's a bit of a joke. Okay, I'm tuning it for real, and I think it's a matter of days before the media pulls a massive U-turn and starts ganging up on Clinton. But moving forwards over the next few months, we just have to understand what Clinton is, okay? More than anything else, Clinton is a salesperson for the international arms industry. I know she's campaigning as anti-gun, and the NRA is unlikely to endorse her, but it's a charade, okay? She works for them. What she does is she acts as a conduit between American weapons manufacturers and buyers overseas. She's a salesperson, and the policies she's going to put down are going to be largely with the purpose of maintaining the export market. So when she goes and starts some war somewhere, it's to make sure that there's somewhere to sell guns to. Okay? Most of what you're going to hear from her and see from her is ultimately just a big excuse to sell weapons. Even the geostrategic part of it is only able to exist due to the economics. If the economic rationale changed all of a sudden, you would see them become great friends with the Russians, okay? But so long as we need, so long as we have an arms industry that's running the government, we're going to have a belligerent foreign policy. The war economy is not inevitable. This idea that America needs the war economy to thrive is wrong. There's lots of ways out, and if you combine them together, you get a way forward. We could put just as many people to work making solar panels. Okay, but that's what we have in front of us. The imminent specter of total arms industry lobbyist control of the presidency. And it's what you need to prepare yourself for. Okay? She works for them. And if you put her in control, that's all you're going to get. Okay? Hillary Clinton is fundamentally exactly the same thing as Dick Cheney. And the policies that we will get will be fundamentally identical to his, okay? It's disappointing, but it's what we have in front of us is what we got to deal with for another 4, God forbid 8 years. So, deal with it.